Now, for more on this, we have our editor-at-large, Craig Copetas, and senior business producer, Mobin Nasir, joining me on set. Craig, great to have you here in the flesh.
Yeah, thank you.
Now, first question, why would Saudi Aramco not want to list in London or New York? After all, that's where the money is, right?
Yeah, the problem is the rules and regulations that exist to float a company. An international public offering in the West are completely different than what the Saudis are willing to do. They're not willing to provide the due diligence that Westerners want to see before splashing out a lot of money to buy this stock. Incompatible legally and culturally.
Mobin?
More to his point, I mean, they've been having road shows now across the world for the past few months, for over a year now almost, and yet nobody has any idea of what the actual valuation of this company is. Now, normally, if a company goes to IPO, the first thing you would expect to see is the numbers behind it. What assets it has, what are its cash flows like, what is the bottom line. In this case, it seems like that is the last thing on the table. So far, we have no idea.
No numbers, no clear numbers. So how much is Saudi Aramco really worth? And has it ever been independently assessed? That's my question to you both. Saudi says it's worth $2 trillion. A media report said just $1 trillion. Who's right? Craig?
Who knows?
Who knows?
You know, that's one of the great lies in life. I don't get drunk on champagne, and I can tell you how much Saudi Aramco is worth. No one knows. Let me tell you the real issue here, Maria. Okay, we keep referring to Saudi Aramco as a company. It is not a company. It is the personal purse of the royal family of Saudi Arabia. Using the word company to describe Aramco is incorrect.
Is it incorrect?
I mean, in order to reach the valuation of this company, you would need to know how much of the money that it earns actually stays in its kitty and how much of it flows out. Now, for example, this $2 trillion number, it may be right. If oil prices were near $80 or $85 a barrel, that's when this statement came out. Right now, if you look at the price difference, prices would have to go up about 45 to 50% to reach that mark. Then, of course, there's the question of the valuation of downstream assets, the petrol stations, the reservoirs, silos, etc. Again, those things can only be assessed if there is some sort of an independent exercise carried out, which to date has not even begun.
Now, let me ask you, an IPO is an economic model from the West. Now, does Saudi have the legal basis and requirements to support this? Mobin?
Well, it's, again, look, they're trying to modernize their laws. Recently, they upgraded their IP laws, their intellectual property laws. The core problem here is this. The contract law, or all laws in Saudi Arabia, follow Sharia. And in that model, speculative activity is not recognized. So if there is a dispute over interest foregone or about future profits, Saudi courts simply do not recognize such claims.
And take it a step further. Let's say there's a legal challenge about how the books are arranged in Saudi Arabia. And let's say now that women can drive in Saudi Arabia, that the accountant in charge is a woman. If that woman is called to court to testify, under Saudi law right now, her testimony is only 50% as true as a man's testimony. You are not going to see the large amounts of money being invested in this project from the West, which is why they're looking to China and other areas where the due diligence on investment is far, far less as rigorous as it is in London or New York.
So,
I agree, and to Craig's point, I would say institutions would be less likely to go for this than individuals per se, or even sovereign wealth funds. The kinds of arrangements where people could directly have some sort of a relationship with the Saudi family and work out some sort of an agreement